Just real quick, I wanted to show you that you don't need a stand in your home. 2 sawhorses, a piece of plywood, and a hole drilled in the bottom. And there you go. And it's stable as can be. Think outside the box sometimes and come up with something simple. I don't know how shops get that spring cage down there compressed. I know for the these drums or whatever, they use that foot press, but I don't have either one of those. So what I'm gonna do is make a little tool that I saw on the same guy that does these videos. It's just you can make it out of wood or metal, but I'm just gonna use metal, and it looks like it's just about a little over 3 inches of how wide his is, but you just make a U. So I found this piece of scrap metal over there in my little junk pile here. I keep all my little pieces of cut-offs and stuff over there. And then I just measured 3 1/8 is what I did, because I figured by the time I get the bend right on my mark and whatever, it'll be a little bit more. So that should be about right. And then I'm just gonna grind these off nice and smooth, and then probably put a piece of tape over them just to keep them from scratching stuff. And then I'm gonna drill a hole in the middle, and then you get another piece, which I have over here from the same scrap. Had a couple here. I'll probably use the longer of the 2 just in case they need to span something. I don't know how long these need to be. I guess I should go look, because I don't want to have to make another one. I think I have one more longer piece over there. But if not, I can just drill a hole in a block of wood real quick to replace this piece for the bottom portion. So it's just going to be a hole in there. I've got this 1/4 inch long bolt that I'll use for now. A threaded rod would work better, because then you can adjust it to whatever height you need. But I'm not sure if I have any of that around. So there's my U. I'll straighten that up a little bit with some vice grips. Okay, so I just used the drill press there. Drilled 2 holes in the center here. So now I just need to, I was thinking about this, and I think it'll work for this case, because it's gonna be just about at the edge of it anyway. So when I go inside the case, I should have just enough threads right there to work. But that's why you want all thread, so you can adjust. You know, you get 2 nuts here, jam a nut it up, and you know, if you need just a little bit, then you pull it out, put your nut here, and then you put your presser, whatever you want to call that, on there. And then if you need a lot, you put it all the way to the end, put your nut down, and you get as long as you want. So you can cut you an 8 or a 10 piece of all thread. I may have a piece of 1/4 inch around here somewhere, and that should work. I mean, it's not like we're trying to press something out. You're just pushing down some springs, and there's not a lot of pressure, but enough that you can't do it with your thumbs. So let me find that, and we'll see if it works over there on the transmission. Okay, so I found a piece of 1/4 inch all thread, because that bolt just wasn't quite long enough to reach and still be able to get some threads on my the one over there. If I had a wing nut, it'd work better. So basically this is just gonna go up underneath. Hopefully you can see most of this. And then I'll put this one on. Just gonna get it to where it barely sits, and then I'll line it up better. Right there. I also got to figure out where my my snap ring is. May have to go get my other glasses. Okay, so that fits on there pretty good. Hopefully you can see that in there. So that's why you make it out of a thin piece, so that you can get, you know, just turn it around. My snap ring's over on that side. So I'll just need to compress it a little bit and then pop that snap ring out, then you can take the tool off. Okay, so one last jig to make for rebuilding this transmission. I got this old piece of bed, I think it is. I don't remember where we got it from, but it's part of that black frame bed there. Like I said, I don't even remember where it came from. I think Babe had it in her room for a while. But this is one of the rails, just sitting back there, not being used. So, this is going to be really hard and a really expensive jig to make. I'm going to pick somewhere right in here and drill an 1¼ inch hole. Flip it over so I don't splinter it so much. Dang, that made a mess. Okay, so there's my hole. Let me take you over to the bench. There we go. Just make sure you use at least a 2x4 or something pretty thick. This is a little thicker than a 3/4, so I figure it will work just fine. And if I need to, I'll just scoot it back a little bit more, give more support, not so far out. I just wanted to see where it'll go first, so my clamps don't get in the way. But another really expensive jig right there to help you do your own at home. When you make your jig, cut this piece at 6 inches. So luckily I had some of this 1x angle iron over there that was already at 6 inches, so I didn't even have to cut anything. I just drilled me a new hole. But the reason for that is when you get to this step, the input drum, is that right? I think so. Anyway, when you get to this step, it'll fit underneath this snap ring once it's in, and then it'll kind of push up against the snap ring and push down on the spring. I just got home, and there's that good-looking parts delivery woman to the rescue again. What you got for me?
Got the goods. 5 springs for 4L60E.
Alrighty. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so for the alignment tool, I just thought I'd show you some of the ideas I had. On the transmission bench video, he uses a 5-gallon bucket for this same concept. I didn't want to cut up a bucket. You know, I use those for all kinds of stuff. But I did have an extra roll of flashing sitting over there. And so I just winged it using my snips. I wish I had a better pair. And just snipped off about a 2-inch section or so. Bent 2 tabs and put a 1/4 inch bolt and some washers in there. Same thing he did pretty much, but I just figured this would work a little bit better. It's a little thinner and doesn't have that little tapered edge like the buckets do. So this would be nice and flat and should work pretty well. And just going to tighten this up and then tighten these bolts down to whatever it was, 200 and something inch-pounds. Converted it out and it was like 18 foot-pounds. So, but yeah, I just had a few little things, like I used this apply plate thing for my stand, since I didn't have, you know, well, now I'm using blocks because I washed that. That's the stuff I'm going to save for some projects. But 2 blocks work well as well. Also, the stand I liked though because it kept it steady, and then my board that I drilled a hole in. Doing it at home, doing it slow. Just keep at it. Stop often and double check before you do things if you're not sure. All right, there we go.